All right, we are live.
All right.
So tell everyone your name.
Moriah Estes.
Okay, Moriah. What is a story for you, about you, right?
Yes,
What
yeah.
happened?
So when I was 20, it was about 16 years ago now, I had the first Gardasil shot. So tiny backstory, I grew up with debilitating migraines. I'm talking like 7 years old, having like screaming migraines and incredible anxiety. So fast forward through school, it's, I'm 20, I'm getting all of my gynecological stuff through Planned Parenthood, and I have my own PCP, husband-wife practice, in a different practice. And I go in, for a visit, and she's like, oh, I see that you never got the Hep B. Do you want to, do your Hep B series? And being 20 and just totally oblivious, I was like, okay, sure, like whatever. So we space them all out, we go through those three, and then, at the last visit, my nurse practitioner was like, there's a new, vaccine out for, HPV, it's Gardasil, do you want to get the series? And I was like, okay, sure. So I go back in, a couple weeks later for that shot, for the first shot, and I get it, and the rest of the day is fine. And I wake up the next morning with the worst pain in my head I have ever felt in my entire life. I literally woke up and I was like, somebody blew up my brain like a balloon. It was like, it felt swollen. It felt like it was pushing against my skull. And it was not just a part of my brain. It felt like my whole brain was swollen. The pain was excruciating. And I was like, I need to get up, get some water, get some sort of pain reliever, and call my mom. I'm 20. I live alone in my own apartment. So I woke up like this. So I sit up and get up to head to the kitchen, and I'm disoriented and I stumble. I have to hold myself up on my wall as I'm making my way to the kitchen. Get water, get ibuprofen. I call my mom, and it was everything that I could do just to get the words out. I had to force them out, and I was like, Mom, something's wrong. I don't know what's going on. And because I grew up with all the debilitating migraines, she was like, well, just go, take your pain, whatever you have for pain, water, go lay down in the cold bathroom floor, just like you used to do, and just let it sleep. You're having some reaction to the shot, and it's a headache, and just go lay down. So I did. And luckily I was able to sleep off the situation, whatever happened. My mom worked literally a minute away, so she came and checked on me about every hour. Which I had no idea. I was in such a deep, I had no idea any of that happened. So I wake up hours later, it's Friday afternoon, doctor's offices are closed, but I feel okay. I feel just whatever the situation was had passed. And so the weekend goes okay. I'm due to be back in the doctor's office in another week for the next shot. So I was like, whatever, I'll just talk to the nurse practitioner when I go in. And so that day comes, and I told her what happened, and this is still Planned Parenthood, she was like, oh, I've never heard anything like that. No one has ever said they've reacted that way. And I was like, okay. She's like, do you want the other shots? And I was like, no way. And she was like, okay, this was fine. So then I went to my PCP, my husband-wife practice, and I went and I saw the wife, and it was for something else, and I figured while I was in there I was going to ask her what happened. And so I tell her what happened after the first Gardasil shot, and she was like, oh, well, you had some reaction, but you're fine now. I was like, okay, well, is there a way to, know? Was it an ingredient? Did I have a reaction to it? Was it a cross reaction because I was on something else? We don't know. Was it what I was experiencing as a kid? We don't know. Is there a way to know if it will happen if I have any other shots? We don't know. And that was it. There was no, she was just like, yeah, we don't know. Yeah, we don't know. And I was just like, okay, I guess we're just going to proceed on with the rest of the appointment. And so she offered no help. Her husband, I asked him about it, and he threw up his hands. I don't know. I have no idea. A totally separate appointment. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to take it to the internet. So I went to the internet, and I found forums of all of these parents and these moms who are like, this happened to my daughter after this shot, and it was encephalitis, and we went to the hospital, and and it was just reply, me too, my daughter too, and it was just hundreds and hundreds of people, and I was like, are you kidding me? Was my brain swollen so badly in that point? Could I have been brain damaged? Could I have died on my bathroom floor? I have no idea. So then I fast forward to when I have my son, and I asked his pediatrician the same thing. I was like, this is what I think happened after this shot. And she's like, I think you're probably right. And I was like, well, will it happen to him if I give him anything? That shot or any other shot? And she's like, there's no way to tell. So from that day forward, I'm done with vaccines. My son has only had the vitamin K shot because I was assured there was nothing else in that one. And so now that I know, but he's not had any. But
How old is he?
6.
And how's he doing?
He's phenomenal. Energy is through the roof. He's intelligent. He's, the best little kid you can ask for. But no, I won't touch another shot. That was my brain. Like I could have died. Like what would have happened? I have no idea, and no one's been able to tell me. No, I've not found a medical professional to have an honest conversation with about it. You
saved your son.
I believe so. No way. They're gonna have to fight me to get to him. And we're hurting here in Maine. Maine was hit really hard with the restrictions, and still we're tired, but we're pissed. We're fed up. So,
I'm sorry that happened to you.
I'm okay. I'm all right. You know what I mean? My son's okay, but I'm not about to sit down and be quiet.
It's interesting when you suddenly know and you realise what's happened.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder, am I experiencing what all those little kids are experiencing? That when they're disoriented and they can't hold themselves up, and they can't speak. I almost couldn't even speak and get the words out, did I, as a fully fledged adult, experience what they're experiencing, and now I can talk about it? You know what I mean? I just feel bad for the kids. All those poor kids and the parents and sorry parents. Oh my gosh, It's madness. So here I am now, and I'm not going to shut up about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling your story so well. Thank you.